I just took Mom with me, Bella. It's been decided that she'll live with us from today.
Huh? What do you mean you took your mom? Where did you take her?
She's going to live with us, doofus. So isn't it obvious she's at my house?
Whoa, wait a second now. When you say she's living with you, you mean she's moving in permanently?
Yes, what's the problem here? You always make a big deal about taking care of Mom. But I really don't think it looks all that difficult. I see it on TV a lot. How looking after elderly or disabled family members is supposedly so tough. But I think it's all nonsense.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. I don't think it's easy at all.
That's what you always say. But I think you have a vested interest in saying that. No. I guess you take care of Mom because you want to snatch her inheritance from us. You may be her daughter-in-law, but you're not a blood relative. So I won't let you do that. You got it?
You think I'll snatch her inheritance from you? I wasn't even thinking of doing that. Don't jump to such insane conclusions.
I'll be honest. I thought things were going to be so annoying when I first found out that Mom needed to be cared for at home. But it turned out to not be a big deal after all.
Of course it's a big deal. You really have no idea how tough it is. It's not easy. And this is really tough for your mom, too.
Is that so? She just lies there all day. I'm actually standing in front of her now as we speak. But do you really think it's so tough for her? It sure doesn't look like it to me. I wish I could swap places with her and be praised for doing such a great job lounging around in bed.
What are you talking about? Yes, having to lie down all day is tough for her. It must be boring. And she's lacking so much freedom because she can't move on her own.
Well, anyway, I've made up my mind. I could take care of Mom if she's just sleeping. I'll take her in, so tell my brother for me, won't you?
What? How many times do I have to tell you? It's no cakewalk to take care of her in this state. Do you understand how labor-intensive it is?
Oh, come on, it can't be all that bad. I bet you must be up to something, even though you're pretending to care. What is it that you want? It's completely unnecessary to spend so much time to take care of a person who's about as active as a potted plant, isn't it?
You seriously don't get it at all. And I'm not up to anything. You say she's just lying there, but that's exactly why she needs someone to care for her.
Yeah, calm down. Ugh, drama queen. She's just sleeping, right? Then it's fine. I'll just let her sleep on her own. She thinks it's so hard for her to just lie there. So why don't we grant her that wish of trying so hard to just sleep?
How can you say such a cruel thing to your own mother, Carol?
What? Cruel? What's so cruel about what I just said? She's a hero for just lying there and doing nothing, right? So that's why I'm saying we should just let her do that. Why do you think it's wrong to cheer for her? You're a weird one.
Why did you suddenly want to take her in yourself? Why the sudden change?
What's the matter? I don't see the problem here. Why, it's because she's my mother, of course.
You visited her a lot when she was healthy. But when she started to need care, all of a sudden, you were nowhere to be seen.
You're painting me in a bad light here. It's none of your business, though, is it? Mom sometimes calls me, so I think we're all good here.
Your mom told me when she became unable to walk, you stopped visiting her. She was sad and thought you cut her off completely.
Oh, yeah, so?
What do you mean, so?
So what? Are you blaming me? If anyone, Isn't it you who should be blamed?
Huh? Me?
Do you think that I don't know anything about you? I heard the truth about you. You're not so innocent as you seem.
You heard what?
See, playing innocent as always. You have a lot of nerve to do what you did, even though you're not a blood-related member of our family.
Hurry up and say your point. What am I playing innocent about, according to you?
My mother told me the other day on the phone. She hired a lawyer to help her write her will. I heard it's because there's something she wants to leave for you. She wanted to make sure that all her assets didn't just go to their default inheritors, i.e., her children.
Something she wants to leave for me?
Oh, you sure sucked up to Mom good. You must have known that as her daughter-in-law, you wouldn't get any of her inheritance. You planned to backstab us just to get your filthy hands over our money, didn't you?
Huh? Of course I knew I wouldn't be getting your mother's inheritance. Because I'm not her child.
Oh, so you did know that you could only get her inheritance if she wrote it in her will. Oh, you sly dog.
Huh? What do you mean, Carol? I think that's pretty basic knowledge, isn't it?
Oh, well, consider me impressed. I thought you had a pretty small brain for someone with a head as big as yours. But I misjudged you. You're smarter than you look. Well done, Bella.
Ugh, honestly, what is your problem? Why are you being like this to me?
You really do have some guts, don't you? Keeping my mother near you all this time, taking credit for taking care of her. When in reality, all she's doing is lying down all the time. Oh, it must be so hard for you and Mom both. Oh, your poor tragic heroes. What a great way to trick Mom into thinking you're some saint who saved her, just so she would put you in her will. You're out of this world. You really thought no one would notice?
Seriously? What is up with you? What you're saying doesn't make any sense. I didn't ask your mom for anything like that.
It's you who's not making any sense. There's more to this whole saga.
What is it now?
You're still working as normal, aren't you?
Yeah, so what?
It's not as if you're working less hours compared to before you started to take care of Mom, right? You supposedly needed to take care of her, but you didn't quit your job, did you? Which means you go to work the same as before. No shorter hours, not coming home early, no compromises.
Yes, but is there a problem with that?
You see? Taking care of Mom, my butt. But you're still after our inheritance. You're such an impudent scoundrel.
I've never even thought about doing such things.
Oh, don't play innocent with me. Mom does have a lot of real estate after all. I bet you're aiming for her property. It's plain to see that you're just a greedy opportunist, Bella.
No, I'm telling you, it's not like that at all. I think there might be a big misunderstanding going on here, Carol.
Anyway, I won't let things go the way that you want. All of her inheritance is mine. None of you will get a cent of that money. I'll take care of my mother from now on. So it's only fair, don't you think? Be sure to tell Harry what's about to happen too.
Look, I'm not sure how I can get this through to you. I have no evil scheme to get your mom's inheritance or anything like that.
That's enough. I know you want it really. I really think you need to hop in the bath. I can smell the greed and lack of class exuding from you from a mile away.
Look, I keep telling you that caring for someone elderly or disabled is hard work.
You call that hard work? You work full time, but you could still fit it in your schedule just fine, can't you? She's doing her best to sleep, right? You think you can handle it, but I can't? Ugh, you're a stuck-up, bossy little girl. It sounds pretty easy to me. Anyone can let a patient lie down, right? Ugh, any idiot can take care of a little vegetable who can't move or do anything other than lie there and sleep.
Hi, Carol. Harry is going to pick Mom up now.
Huh? Why? Tell him to stop. There's no need for that. Huh. Looks like you really are hungry for that inheritance money after all. You will not get a single penny. I'd rather jump off a cliff than give it to you. I had Russell burn the will already.
You had him burn it? What the heck are you doing?
What a shame for you. Your oh-so-precious inheritance is gone now, along with your dreams of being a leeching inheritance thief.
I don't really mind about the will. My much bigger concern was what your mom said when she called us. She said she needs help.
What? Help her from what? She's sleeping safe and sound at my house.
She called us crying and asking us to pick her up. Harry practically teleported into the car and towards your house.
Wait, that can't be right. Are you saying she's complaining about her living arrangement at my house?
Caring for someone isn't so easy. Maybe you just aren't cut out for it, Carol. It's not something that everyone can do.
What did you just say? You haven't been doing anything for her at all, have you? So you're going to ask me to do this and that while you won't even lift a finger? So it's rules for thee and not for me, huh?
I think you completely misunderstand. Have I ever said that I took care of your mom?
What do you mean you haven't taken care of Mom? Of course. You've lived with her all this time, so it's only natural you took care of her. How else would Mom have survived all this time?
You really are old-fashioned, Carol. You're letting your presumptions blind you to the reality of what's really going on.
What on earth do you mean? Just spit it out now.
I'm saying that assuming that I'm the one taking care of your mom just because I'm a woman is outdated. Harry insisted on looking after his own mother.
Huh? Harry did?
Harry told me he can't rely on you to take care of your mom. He says he was right to take on that role in the first place. So he'll keep on doing it himself.
What? Harry is the one looking after Mom?
Oh, so you thought this would be just a breeze because I was working full-time? Harry is going above and beyond to make sure your mom's well looked after all through the day. Of course, sometimes I help him too. We've divided up our own roles, so we're both pulling our weight. I'm working, doing the housework, and most of the parenting.
You're lying to me. You can say whatever you want. But I know that you took her in just so you could take all our money. You parasite.
Look, I've told you so many times that I'm not.
Well, Mom told me that she wrote her will. You must have been the one whispering in her ear to make her do that.
Your mom decided to write it of her own free will. You'll excuse the pun. She was barely even able to hold a pen. She used every last ounce of her strength to finish writing that, so that she could leave everyone what they deserved.
What's your point? You know what you deserve from her. Nothing. It's our family's money, not yours.
But you burnt it, right?
That's right. Because I won't let you have a single crumb of the pie, let alone a slice. I don't know what was written on that will, but it can't have been anything good.
It divided up your mom's assets into thirds. One each for me, Harry, and you.
You see, that piece of paper would have taken away money from the rightful owners. I was right to burn that thing. Nice try, but now your only hope is gone. The ball's in your court, Bella.
But burning the will didn't give you the right to the inheritance money.
On what planet? What are you talking about, you moron?
You could have had 1/3 of it if you just played nice. But you no longer have the right to it, so you'll be getting zilch.
Oh, but that doesn't make any sense. I'm her actual biological daughter. Of course I get my own mother's inheritance. Don't talk nonsense just because you won't get anything.
Ignorance sure is bliss. At least until reality hits you in the face. I think you've been watching way too many crime and murder TV shows. You destroying that will meant nothing because you weren't the one who wrote it. Only Mom can revoke it, not you. Now you're not going to be inheriting anything at all. Man, you really screwed up here.
So what if I'm not inheriting anything? There was no way I wasn't going to get rid of that will if Mom was planning to leave you anything. I'm glad I did it, and I'd do it again.
You still don't get it, do you? You are not getting anything. Only you. That will is on file with a lawyer, and it can be easily checked. We're still in it, and so are you, but trust me, not for much longer.
What? Ugh, you and your mind games. Stop toying with me, you conniving little scoundrel!
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Anyway, you're not going to have a right to the inheritance much longer.
Well, that's fine. I don't care. I'll ask Mom to write it again.
Oh, she will. Trust me. And you better believe your name's not going to be in it. Now I think you're the one that needs a bath. I can smell the greed and lack of class exuding from you from a mile away. We weren't happy with how Carol just left my mother-in-law lying there alone all the time. So Harry went to her rescue to bring her back to our house. Carol started to avoid her mom like the plague as soon as she started to need care. She only rubbed up to her mom when it was convenient for her selfish goals of getting her inheritance. By contrast, her mother mercifully tried to leave some of her inheritance for Carol. It's ironic that Carol destroyed the will, along with her only chance of getting her share of the inheritance. No matter how many times Carol begged and cried for her mother to write the will again, unsurprisingly, she wouldn't budge. Seems like Carol made a lot of expensive purchases, relying on her upcoming inheritance to pay. But Russell, her husband, found out that Carol would no longer be making him rich. He kicked her to the curb right after that. Looks like she outlived her usefulness. Birds of a feather flock together, I guess. Those two greedy opportunists deserved each other, but it seems like they couldn't stand one another. Carol came to visit our house, asking if she could crash with us for a bit. She was in a lot of trouble with her mountains of debt and being made homeless, to say the least. Harry showed no hesitation in driving her out. My mother-in-law was really down for a few days after coming back from Carol's house. According to her, Carol was also just lying down all the time, but claiming to work hard, being a stay-at-home mom. I guess she really was doing her best to lie there.
Did you decide on a date for your wedding?
Yeah? Why?
What do you mean, why? You know I do shift work, so I'll have to make sure I'm off that day. I've got to find some time to go shopping to get something to wear, make hair appointments. There's lots of things I'll have to schedule and do to get ready. I've been looking forward to seeing you get married ever since you were a little girl.
Huh? You're coming to my wedding?
What? Of course I am. I'm your mom.
But I don't want you there.
Huh? Why not?
If you think about it for just a bit, I think you'll see why.
No, I don't see why I wouldn't go. Why don't you want me there?
Because my fiancé's whole family is doctors. They've been doctors for generations. Do you know how embarrassed I'd be if my high school dropout of a mom showed up?
But to not have your own mom show up to your own wedding, wouldn't that look even worse?
I'll just make up some excuse like you're sick and you can't go outside, or something like that.
Don't say things like that. Please, just let me come. I've been looking forward to seeing you all dressed up in your wedding dress walking down the aisle as long as I can remember.
I don't care about that. I don't want you there.
You've never mentioned this before. Why are you just bringing this up now? Did someone on his side say something about me?
Nobody has said anything directly about you, but I can sense how they feel. I don't think his dad or his mom think very highly of you. They've all got MDs or PhDs, and you're sitting there without even a high school diploma. What do you think they'd think? The only reason they're even allowing me to marry their son is because I at least have a degree from a reputable school. Being associated with you is a huge strike against me. Honestly, I'm considering cutting you out of my life altogether.
What? You're not. You don't have to go that far, do you? I raised you your whole life, and you're just going to abandon me now?
My fiancé is the most important thing to me right now.
I'm not going to do anything to offend anyone in his family. And I promise I won't do anything to embarrass you.
If you were beautiful and dropped out of high school, maybe I could justify it. But you look like a regular old woman. You've got gray hairs all over the place, and your hands and skin are so wrinkly you look even older than you are. With a high school dropout of a mom who looks like you, they're gonna do nothing but tease me about it for the rest of my life.
There's nothing I can do about how I look. I've been working from morning till night for the past 20 years just to keep a roof over your head and food on the table. I haven't had the time or money to go to a beauty salon or worry about how my skin looks.
Why the heck wouldn't you care about your own looks? You damn well should.
Look, you know your grandfather was living with us because he was too sick to take care of himself. I not only had to work to raise you, I had to look after him at the same time. And I had to pay all of your grandma's hospital bills before she died too. I had to support everyone by myself. And by the time both of your grandparents had passed away, you were starting college. With all that tuition, everything's been really tough for me. No matter how long or how hard I worked, there never seemed to be enough money. Why can't you understand that?
Stop with your excuses. You only had to work that hard because you dropped out of high school. If you'd have gone to college, you could have gotten a decent job that paid well. You brought this all on yourself. A dropout single mother? My God, you're a disgrace. Why didn't you at least finish high school? Is it because you were too stupid?
I couldn't finish high school because of circumstances beyond my control. That's why I was working so hard. to make sure you never had to go through what I went through. That's why I worked so hard to help put you through a decent college. I did all this for you because I love you. I thought if I could see you get married and be happy, all my hard work would be worth it.
Why are you trying to make it sound like I owe you something for doing this? It's a parent's duty to raise and provide for their children. If you didn't have the funds or weren't prepared to support me until I was an adult, you shouldn't have given birth to me. But you did, so it's only natural that you work your butt off to provide for me until I'm old enough to get out on my own.
Why are you talking to me like this? I'm your mom, and I love you. I agree with some of your points, but you have to understand everyone has different circumstances, especially us.
It doesn't matter. You just don't fit in with the kind of family I'm marrying into. You better not come to my wedding. If you really care about me like you say you do, you'll stay away. Mom! Why did you say you're not paying for the wedding? The bride's family is supposed to pay. It's tradition. My fiancé's family already agreed to help out and pay half. So why are you suddenly refusing to pay any of it? Do you know how embarrassed I am right now?
What are you talking about? Why should I pay? You said I'm an embarrassment to you, and you forbid me from even going to your wedding. You expect me to pay for half of it after you did all that to me? I'm not giving you another cent for anything ever again. You're an adult now. If you want something, pay for it yourself.
So now you're just going to abandon your own daughter? You're heartless.
Say whatever you want. No matter what you say to me, you're not getting another cent.
Whatever. Do whatever you want. I don't know why this surprises me at all. I'm done with you. I'm never speaking to you again, so don't ever try contacting me again. You're not my mom.
What's this? Are you saying you knew?
What? Knew what?
That none of my blood is in your veins.
What are you talking about? None of your blood is in my veins? Is this some kind of joke?
It's no joke.
Huh? Then you mean... Are you saying you're not my real...
I knew I'd have to tell you sometime, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I've been trying to keep it a secret from you. When you were only 3 months old, I took you in.
Huh? Wait. Hold on. Then, my parents? My real parents are somewhere, right? Who are they?
Do you want to know who your real mom is?
Of course. I want to talk to her. Give me her number. I want my real parents to be at my wedding.
Huh? What are you talking about? You're gonna forbid the woman who raised you your whole life to come, and instead, you're gonna invite someone you've never met?
Yes. Even though I've never met them, it's better than having the mother of the bride's seat empty at the wedding.
Don't you want to know what kind of person gave birth to you?
Well, of course, but there's no doubt they'll be better than a high school dropout. I doubt there is anything worse, lol.
Really? Okay. I don't know your real mom's phone number or where she lives. But I think I have some proof of who she is somewhere in my house. I'll find it and send it to you. When you see who it is, you can try to track her down yourself and get in contact with her.
Okay, I will. I've always wondered how someone like you could have been my mom. I suspected long ago that you weren't. We've got nothing in common. I've always believed a child should be with their real mom.
I've always treated you as my own daughter. I devoted my entire life to you. I did all that for you, and you're still going to say something like that?
I told you before, stop acting like I owe you something. I can't believe this. You've had me tricked this whole time. I want my real parents at my wedding. Get whatever information you have sent to me right away. You fraud. You tricked me again, didn't you? How could I be related to someone like that?
From the way you're acting, I see you found your real mom, huh?
Yeah, I found her. When I got the records you sent me, my fiancé hired a private investigator to find her.
Then invite her to your wedding like you wanted to. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
I'm not inviting someone like that.
Why not? No matter what, she's a better mom than a high school dropout could be, right?
I'm not inviting that thing to my wedding. She's nothing but a criminal. She tried to kill someone to get insurance money. She went to prison.
That's right. But she's out of prison now, isn't she? She should be able to go to your wedding.
What the heck is going on here? Explain this to me.
If you must know, your mom is my older sister. She's really beautiful and knows what men want. Guys have been lining up to be with her since she was young. And because of that, she's always thought she's better than everyone else. So everyone in our family hated her. One day, she decided she wanted to be rich, so she married a rich guy 10 years older than her. But I guess she decided splitting his money wasn't what she wanted, so she devised a plan to try to get it all. I don't know if she planned on trying to kill him before they got married or not, but it seems she wanted all his money, and maybe even some extra from his life insurance. But before her plan could work, her husband found out she had been secretly poisoning him, and she was arrested. By the time all that was found out, she was already pregnant.
You mean with me?
That's right. But her husband wanted nothing to do with the daughter of the woman who tried to kill him, so he refused to take you. That's when I decided to take you, rather than have you put up for adoption. My parents used all the savings they had to hire a lawyer to help my sister, but it wasn't enough. The cost of the trial and the extra mouth to feed was too much. I had to quit school and find a job to help my parents out and to raise you.
So, that's why you didn't graduate high school?
Some people said it wasn't worth doing all that for a child of someone like her. But even though your mom had done a horrible thing, I didn't think you should suffer for it. I did my best to shield you from the sins of your mom. I knew if you were associated with someone like that, it would make your life even more difficult.
That's why, even up till just last week, you'd try to keep it a secret from me?
For the past 24 years of your life, I loved you and raised you like you were my own. But that wasn't enough for you. You wanted even more than that. And when you told me I wasn't your mom, I thought you knew. So, I thought you wanted to know who your real mom was. Recently, I had been considering never telling you the truth, and just taking that secret with me to the grave.
So, you were never planning on telling me about my real mom?
I wanted to at first, but it was mostly my parents who thought I shouldn't. When my sister was sent to prison for attempted murder, my parents were so ashamed. They didn't want to be seen in public anymore. They got rid of pretty much everything in the house that was tied to her, even the baby pictures they had of her. We moved away from that town, and my parents never spoke of her to anyone again. But those things I sent to you, those are what I secretly took from my parents before they destroyed everything of my sister's. If you ever wanted to know who your real mom was, I figured it would be best if I had some proof, or something that might lead you to her. I'm glad I kept those things now.
No, you sent those things to me so my fiancé would find out, didn't you? You kept those things to use against me, didn't you?
What are you talking about? I gave you those things because you said you wanted to know. They helped you find your real mom, didn't they?
Shut up! think about what you've done. Now my fiancé's family knows that the bride's mother is a criminal. This is terrible.
Oh? Is that worse than her mother being a high school dropout? I guess you never considered there are worse things than that, did you?
It's not just that. They know my mom was only after money and tried to kill her husband to get it. What do you think they're gonna assume I'm doing?
Well, I can't blame them for that. If I was in your fiancé's position, I'd be concerned that you'd be trying the same thing that your mom tried too. I'd be scared you might be trying to take my life.
My fiancé's parents said they want the wedding postponed, which is basically their way of saying they don't want their son marrying a criminal's daughter because it'd be bad for their reputation. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before the wedding is canceled altogether.
That's not surprising. It's an unfortunate situation.
What are you talking about? That's what you'd say if this was happening to someone you barely knew.
That's because it is. I'm not your mom. You told me that yourself not too long ago.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know my real mom would be such a horrible person.
You chose the person you had never met over the woman who raised you your whole life. I went along with your decision and gave you the information you wanted so you could find your real mom. You found her. So, I'm not your mom anymore. And that means you're not my daughter anymore.
I was angry. It was a slip of the tongue. It could happen to anyone. I didn't mean it.
You didn't say it. You typed it. Are you saying it was just a slip of the finger?
I only have one mom. You know that. You were my mom then, and you're still my mom now.
You can't just flip sides whenever it's convenient for you. Your fiancé is about to dump you, so now you want to come running back to me? Do you think I'm gonna fall for that?
Mom, I'm sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me. Mom! Please, I'm sorry!
I know you meant what you said to me before. Now you've got to take responsibility for your decisions. You're supposed to be an adult. If you can't take responsibility for your own actions, I must not have raised you very well. But from now on, I'm not going to be looking after you or helping you out ever again. I devoted my entire life to you. I worked hard and gave you everything I could possibly give you. I have absolutely nothing left to give you. And that includes any love. After that, Leah's fiancé's parents were completely against the wedding after finding out who Leah's real mom was. Their family was very concerned with how other people viewed them. They were willing to put up with me being related to them, even though I didn't finish high school. But it was clear they wanted nothing to do with Leah's real mom and the things she had done. Needless to say, the wedding was cancelled. Leah had been quite proud and had been telling everyone how her husband-to-be is a young doctor, and how she was going to be marrying into an entire family of doctors. But when she had to tell them that the wedding was cancelled, it was such an embarrassment for her. As if that wasn't bad enough, Leah was quite popular on social media and had a lot of friends and followers. So when word got out about her real mom being in prison for attempted murder, word spread really fast, and all of her friends tried to distance themselves from her. I guess they weren't really her friends after all. Leah ended up being left all alone. I guess she couldn't stand how everyone she thought really cared about her left her so quickly, so she tried contacting me again. But I couldn't bear to speak with her again, so I blocked her number. After that, I haven't heard anything more from her. She's not my daughter anymore, so she'll have to learn how to deal with things on her own. I, on the other hand, am no longer working to support anyone else. I'm going to be focusing on my own life from now on. My life begins now.